including some 7,000 at the Pentagon. The President of the United States considers his spokesperson among his closest counselors. PR has become a validated social science, with hundreds of universities offering undergraduate and graduate degrees in public relations. All over the world, PR practice and study are booming. The 21st century promises to be the golden age of public relations. Today, more and more, PR is replacing advertising as the go-to promotional strategy for individuals and organizations throughout the world. In more and more corporations, including the mammoth IBM, the marketing and advertising departments now report to public relations. Not long ago, it was the other way around. In fact, in most companies today, public relations encompasses a wide swath of promotional and reputation management functions: media relations, employee communication, executive communication or speechwriting, corporate social responsibility, lobbying, crisis communication, shareholder communication, issues management, and social media with its free-for-all blogosphere. In this book, we tell stories of how people successfully used PR to accomplish remarkable things, or, just as often, immolated themselves, often needlessly. Most of these stories are contemporary, some focusing on the famous and others on the obscure. All have crucial lessons to offer. PR itself is an ancient art form. It ain't rocket science, but it has a grounding theory and a long history that folks today, no matter what they want to accomplish, ignore at their peril. It all started with Moses. Born about 1,200 years before Christ, he was raised as one of Egypt's royal family, with all the trappings and privileges. But it turned out that he had been adopted as an infant by the Pharaoh's daughter, who had come upon him after his mother had placed him in a basket among the reeds at the edge of the river. And it also turned out that he was a Hebrew, a member of one of Egypt's enslaved races. Though the Pharaoh and his daughter had discovered that, they embraced him as one of their own, so clearly he had a sweet life ahead of him. Until, that is, he decided on what the neighbors at the time thought a very dumb career move. He came to the defense of a Hebrew slave being assaulted by an Egyptian. Moses was a reluctant hero. Yet he gave up all he had to flee his home, become an outcast shepherd, and wander the desert. And then one day God appeared to him in a burning bush and commanded him to free the Hebrew slaves and then unite their 12 tribes. To accomplish those things, he would have to become the Hebrews' commander as well as their community organizer and legislator. But Moses had a big problem. He was a stammerer. Thus the expression, slow as Moses, and therefore not a confident communicator. This speech impediment was a serious obstacle for the man entrusted with the 10 Commandments, history's first values statement, which had to be promoted to the people. And Moses was smart enough, like King George VI of the United Kingdom 3 millennia later, to realize that great leadership requires great speech. So Moses turned to his most loquacious and personable older brother, Aaron, to be his, and by extension God's, not to mention history's, first nabi, or spokesperson. Aaron was raised differently from Moses. When his brother was off receiving formal education at the royal court of Egypt, Aaron was back in the rural tribal land of Goshen, mixing with the common folk. Aaron gained a reputation for eloquence and persuasiveness. He was a natural to speak to the people and to deal with the Egyptian royal court, both on behalf of his brother. As such, Aaron became history's first public relations representative, and Moses became the first great leader in history to see the potential value and wisdom of retaining a professional communicator to help achieve important goals. Thus was born the modern-day practice of public relations. About 800 years after Moses came Aristotle, who by then had a lot of PR history to draw on. To this day, he remains one of the best communicators ever. Pupil of Plato and mentor to Alexander the Great, Aristotle was also, not coincidentally, the father of rhetoric, the art of persuasion through the